Hello, are you still doing your Figma animations like this, where you have multiple frames? There are many instances, almost all, where you can actually use components instead and save yourself a lot of headache and just make your life way easier. So this is what I have. I have 5 frames and I have a loading screen. It dissolves to the next screen after a 500-second delay. So let's make this a better way. So I'm going to come over here. I've got my loading page already set up, and I'm going to first draw a circle. I'm going to hit the letter O for oval, hold down Shift to make a circle. That's probably a good circle. Let's turn it red. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull this circle off. I just wanted to kind of make sure that it was the size I wanted. I'm going to pull this off, and I'm going to make this a component, and I'm going to use this component to make other components. And the reason why is that if this is a component, I'll be able to change it really easily. So there's my ellipse. I should probably change the name of that. Let's go back to File. So the main component we'll call single dot. Cool. So this is an instance of single dot. It's a terrible name. Just call it dot. And I'm going to make a row of 5. So I'm going to Option Shift click, give it about the distance I want, and then Command D will duplicate it. So I'm going to make 5, and now this I'm going to make into a component. Command Option K. So now I have one component, and I want to make a variant. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to choose Main Component, Add Variant. You can also do that up here with the diamond with the plus in the middle if there are no variants already. I'll show you it kind of disappears and becomes this. I guess that becomes the, no, yeah, you can't add a variant, I don't think. Cool, so now I have a second variant. I can add more with the plus. So I'm going to make actually 6 because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to have an kind of empty pausing state. So now that I have 5 of these, I am going to make them look how I want. So the first one, I only want to have a single dot and then 2 dots. So I'm shift clicking on multiples to get multiples deleted. And then this one, just so things don't get weird, I'm going to leave a dot and just give it a fill of none. So fill 0. Oops, I think I'm not on the dot. There you go, 0. Cool. So let's name the whole component. Let's call it, what should we call it? Loading dots. Oh, well, that's the frame. Instead of that, for the property, we'll call it loading dot set. Sure. Just so there's different names because it gets weird in my brain. Anyway, the first one, so I clicked on the whole component in order to name the whole thing. Now I want to change all these variants to better names because those are terrible names. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. If you go to settings, I haven't done this before. If you hover over, you can edit the whole property and do it all in one go. Amazing. I just learned something I didn't know could happen. Cool. 3. That's there. 3. 4. 5. 5. 6. Cool. So now I have my set named. I'm just going to verify. I'm going to click on them and look over on the right. And sure enough, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoops, I just added 1. 6, 5. Cool. So now that I have this, I can go to my assets and I can drag the loading dots in. Put them right about there. And I don't want to prototype them here. I don't want to wire them up here. I want to wire them up here. So before I preview anything, I need to wire these up, and I'll probably pause because it'll get really boring. But what I'm going to do is click on the first one, hit plus. I'm in the prototype tab now. I'm going to hit plus, and I'm going to say after delay, and I'm going to do 500 milliseconds, half a second, and I'm going to say change to, and instead of 1, do 2. And then I'm going to do dissolve, and I'm going to keep the default. So I'm going to do that all the way down, and I'll be right back. I'm back, and I've wired up the first 5, and I've left the last for you. So I want this to go back to the first dot so that it's an infinite loop. So I'm going to click on this kind of invisible box that is 6 and add one more interaction, which is after delay. And when I was looking at testing this earlier, 300 milliseconds seemed like a better pause for the invisible state. And then change to 1, also dissolve, and there you go. So now my component is built. I can go over here. This will take those changes that I just made because it's an instance of that component. Let's go back to file to verify that, yeah, it's an empty diamond, which means it's an instance. So let's preview this and see if it works. So I'm going to click on the frame name. I'm going to hit shift space, and there we go. The same animation, but it is very neatly contained in one component, including all of the prototyping for it. And it has a couple added benefits. One, I don't know how many times you would need a loading page, but you could use loading in other parts of your app, or it could be some other animation that you're reusing that you build in this way that just lives in a component. The other beautiful thing about this is that because this dot is a component, I can go into design and change the color, or I could change it into another shape. I could kind of do whatever I want, but it will change all instances. Maybe we want that color as our loading. So if somebody comes to you and says, we need to use the branding color, or we've changed the branding color, or whatever it is they have to say, you only have one place that you need to change it, and wherever that exists, it will update beautifully. All right, cool. Hope that was fun. Thanks a lot.